Hi guys, I'm Lynette Allen, coach and mentor to female entrepreneurs, and I wanted to do just a short video log today for you on the back of a coaching conversation I had with a client of mine. I'll tell you a bit about her, then tell you about her problem, because her problem is so common to so many female entrepreneurs and it's actually really quite easy to sort out. So within the hour, we'd got this lady sorted out, streamlined, feeling so much better, much more energy, really feeling back in balance with herself and her business, and I think you might have some help from that too. So I coached this lady and she was very stressed, tearful. She's just left a marriage. She's feeling at a really low place in her life right now. She's been suffering with panic attacks as well, which hasn't helped. She runs her own business, but what she does within that business is everything and anything. And I started to get to know her a couple of months ago. So I know some of the business streams she's got in and how she makes her money. But they're so diverse. I was thinking, how are you doing all this? And then of course it came out in our session the other day that she's not doing any of it very well and she really needed to refocus and rebalance. So that's what we helped her to do. So this is what I asked her to do in the coaching session, and I think it could help you too. Get a sheet of paper. This is my pink book, the lovely trusty pink book that I take everywhere with me. A sheet of paper, a mind map on there in whichever way makes sense to you, everything that you do. So I did this about 5 or 6 years ago. I also had multiple income streams from different places, and whilst that can be a very good business model, it actually made me very, very tired. And 5 years ago, 6 years ago now, when I was working full time, really silly hours, mad hours, I would be up at 5. I would work all the way through, I would break to take my dogs for a walk, I would go straight back to work, I would refocus again, I would break for some dinner, I'd go straight back to work in the evening. It was pretty mad. I didn't have much of a social life at all, and it was all too much actually. So I was asked to do this exercise back then. I asked my client to do it the other day, and this is what was on mine. So I mind mapped a sheet of paper with everything that I did on it. So I had coaching. I've been a coach for nearly 20 years, you probably already know that. But I also used to teach coaching. So I had a separate company which used to put people through a professional diploma. I loved that, but that was another whole business entity in itself. I used to blog. I've always been quite a good writer. So I used to blog. I tend to vlog now actually, which I find much more stimulating and exciting, but I used to write it all down then. From the blogging, some of my clients and the people that I was networking with at the time said, Lynette, can you build me a blog like that? Because I don't know where to start and yours looks really good. I had got very familiar with a system. It was called Typepad actually back then. They're still going now, and it made so much sense to me, and I made mine look really nice and other people wanted theirs. So I even did a blog site for a diamond merchant in London. I mean, how diverse is that? And they paid me and I got paid and it was great and they loved the site. It got their team blogging. That's what started them off. So I started to build other people's blogs as well, not just one but quite a few. Then people said to me, Lynette, you're such a good writer, you really well, I can't write anything. Can you interview me and write my blogs for me? That's really easy for me to do. I can talk to somebody for 10 minutes. I can get the nub of an idea, of a concept, and I can spin it around and make it into something good. I have that talent. So I used to charge for that as well. Then I used to spend some time writing ideas down for my next book to pitch to my publisher. That also took time. Then I had a completely different area, interviewing talented women. Do you see what I mean? I loved each one of those things, but they ran me ragged, and they actually ran me rather than me feeling I was in control with them. And in the end, for me, it was far too much. Now, the lady I spoke to the other night and coached the other night, also has that. She's like at breaking point. It's too much. I can't do it anymore, and I don't think I want to do it anymore. So I mind mapped my journey. I did it in different colours. I did it on an A3 bit of paper. I got on the floor with all my colouring pens. It's really quite nice. Now I'm quite an organised person, so I did mine in sort of boxes and arrows, and sort of marked out the things that I really liked doing, crossed out the things that I really didn't like doing. When I went part-time, I had to do this because I went part-time when I had remarried and started my family. So I had no chance of being able to do everything I did before, especially as I knew a little baby was coming along. So I had a mentor at the time, and he said, one message. And I was like, what? Just the one? But I've got all these other things that I'm really good at. I don't care, he said. One message. So it really made me have to think about why my one message was going to be and how I was going to deliver that to the world. Now, as it is, I now know that you can have one message, several ways of delivering, and that builds up again, but the one message is key. So I culled some of my coaching clients because they weren't the right clients for me. I eventually, when I was about to deliver my little girl, I stopped the coaching and I resigned from my coaching company. I think I stopped blogging for a while. I really cut down and shaved everything. I certainly stopped ghostwriting my blogs, and I had to tell my lovely clients that I wasn't going to do that anymore, and they were really gutted, and I had to cope with that. And I liked doing it, but I just couldn't do it anymore. The ideas for my next book stopped. They've started again now, but right at that point they had to stop. And I still now interview talented women, but at that point that stopped as well. So what I was left with was coaching. What I was left with was one message. What do you want to do? My message was, I want to empower women in the world so they know they have more power and influence over their own lives. That was it. I've done that through those 5 years in a variety of ways, and I have built back up into a business that has help now. I have a PA who's in England. I have people around me who support me. I now can start to build up what I do because I shaved everything right back. And the day I did that was the most freeing day ever professionally. I just cut up bits of paper, deleted files off my internet, off my Word documents, deleted whole files of tons of work. I'm not going to do that anymore. Old, it's gone. That took a lot of courage. Telling people I wasn't going to work with them anymore, that took a lot of courage too. And that is what my client now is facing. But at the end of that call, she felt relieved. Her shoulders dropped massively. We were on Skype together and I could see her. And she now knows what she has to do. One message. So if you're a female entrepreneur, overwhelmed, needing to understand how to just chill, how to have some time for yourself, how to balance your family, try this exercise. Big sheet of paper, lots of colour pens, write down everything you do, collate it into one message. Bye for now.